All right, and welcome to For the Love of. This is a series that we do on a semi-regular basis. It's very informal, so I can't say it's at the first of the month, the last of the month, or the middle of the month. We come up with a good idea and we put it together. Today we are looking at stories, poems, discussions about the theme of happiness. My name is Raymond Tyler, and I am the person who came up with the concept for the radio show America Coast to Coast, where this will be airing on the radio. But I'm not going to share the story of how I came up with America Coast to Coast today. Today I'm going to give you the long version of how I got into DJing, because DJing makes me very happy. I'll start off by saying this. First of all, my name is Raymond Tyler. I was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I was raised in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Being from Atlantic City, New Jersey has really given me a unique perspective on everything that I do, and I mean everything that I do. And that's because people from Atlantic City, we love you, we'll hate you, but we won't let nobody else mess with you. So that's what I have to say about being from Atlantic City. When it comes to hip-hop and DJing and why it makes me happy, well, there's something about being able to take two records that are distinctly different and putting them together in a way that adds something to both of them. For instance, one of my favorite mixes is Eric B. and Rakim's Paid in Full with, if you can believe it, Captain and Tennille's Muskrat Love. Sounds crazy on the face of it, but when you hear them together, it's a pretty dope situation. Here's the story of how I got started DJing. First record I heard, like many other people, was the Sugar Hill Gang, and I really didn't think rap was going to last long because there were other different versions of rap that it came before it. Anyway, fast forward to a record that became one of my favorite records, still one of my favorite records, Tila Rock's It's Yours. I remember the first time I heard him say T-L-A-R-O-C-K, usually the reason for a very nice day. I was like, okay, hip-hop and rap's going to have to be here for a minute until I can figure out how to make something that sound like that. I never did, but that's when I first fell in love with hip-hop as a culture, but I didn't even know it was a culture. I didn't know that it included dancing. I didn't know that it included graffiti, and I didn't know it included turntablism. Once I found out about the graffiti part, I was in because I was a visual artist. I didn't have my own turntables, so shout out to Sheldon Hall. I used to go over his house all the time and bug him to spin on his turntables. Okay, so fast forward to my senior year in high school. Christmas comes around. My mother asked me what I want for Christmas. At that point, I was so blessed, I actually said, Mom, I don't need anything. I don't need any more clothes because I wasn't a clothes guy. I wasn't a toy guy anymore, so I didn't need any toys. And so it was my mother, God bless her, who said, well, you're always going over Sheldon's house to play with his turntables. That's what she said, to play with his turntables. How about if I get you some of your own? So I thought about it, milled it around for 15 seconds. I said, yeah, let's do that. Even though I knew that my mother couldn't afford like turntables, 1200s. We went to Sanyo or Silo or one of those places that aren't here anymore, and we got some Techniques. They didn't even have the speed control on them, and they were only turntables in the effect that they played records. They were not professional grade turntables like I use now or later went on to buy. But I still have those turntables, and they mean the world to me because it's just one instance where I can point to and say my mother and my parents were great parents. They, even though they didn't cost $400 or $500 a piece like Technique 1200s do, it was a big sacrifice for my parents to buy those, to get the turntables and the mixer and the speakers, and to make sure that I was set up. And of course, I think I had the turntables off for a half hour before everybody in my neighborhood wanted to come over and hear me mix, if you were to call it that, which I don't even think I would call it mixing, but I had a good time. And from that time to this time, being on turntables, playing music, mixing records together, finding something new in old records has brought me so much joy on so many levels. Whether it's been introducing new DJs to people like DJ Blake, shout out to DJ Blake, or again, just taking two records that are different and bringing them together. In fact, I remember the first two records I bought when I got my turntables. I got them from Professor's Records in Atlantic City. The first one was the Run DMC album, which was old. And one day I'll tell you the story about how I found that album. Shout out to Willie Glass. And the second album I bought was UTFO, their first album, which again was old, but I know that those were two albums that really excited me, and so I couldn't wait to get them home and to put them on the turntables and to be able to spin them myself. From there, I started doing mixtapes, which sounded like little radio shows, and shout out to everybody from Atlantic City High School who went there basically my senior year, whether they graduated with me or after me, because the kids and the students of Atlantic City really supported me and really gave me a lot of inspiration, even when I had more excitement than talent. I'm talented now, so don't try me. So anyway, that's my story of how I became a DJ and why DJing brings me joy and happiness. Thank you.